Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph. Today's behind the scenes is going to be a little bit different because okay, let me just tell you the truth. I forgot the camera batteries for my M6, the camera that I used to film my behind the scenes, and I was charging them the morning of the shoot. I wanted to make sure that they were fully charged so that when I go on set, I'll be able to record and then bring you guys the behind the scenes. I took the camera, I took the gimbal that we used to balance that camera, but I forgot the batteries. And unfortunately, I also forgot that we're still carrying powerful cameras with us, our phones. I use a 12 Pro, so I could have used that to film the behind the scenes, but I totally forgot. It was rather when we were done, I remembered that, oh, I could have used the phone to record the behind the scenes and then just lay like my voice over and tell you guys basically everything that happened. But I forgot, so I rather took like a very short clip and I took several pictures, and that's what we're going to be analyzing. Maybe I'll just throw in the video from the phone if that's going to excite you, but then we'll start off with my screen. I'll show you like the wide setting of everything, and then I'll just walk you through everything. So starting off, if I go onto the first image, for example, this is just to let you guys see from more or less like my shooting angle. So I'm shooting straight onto here from here, and I have a backlight, and this backlight is a very small light source, and like in comparison to my main light, which is this umbrella right here. But the most important thing is I was shooting tethered. I had my laptop to the side so that when I capture, I can see the images right there, and if I need to make adjustments in terms of color, crop, whatever the case may be, I can just apply that and then move on. Also, shooting tethered just helps me see things that I would rather miss, you know, looking at the LCD of my camera, because that screen is very small, but over here it's large, and also the client gets to see it and also appreciate the work. And if we need to make adjustments because it's makeup, we can see it on a bigger screen and make those adjustments if need be. Alright, so moving on. So this is generally like where I'm shooting from, and you can see the distance between the light and the reflector and also the backlight. From here you may not see it well. I'll go to another angle and show you that, but basically I'm shooting straight on from here, and you know, my light is coming down on my subject. My rim light is just a small light source hitting this area, and then the reflector is bouncing back light onto my subject. So let me just move on to like the wider frame where you guys will see everything, and then I think we can talk more using this area. So let me start off with the rim light. So the rim light is my Godox 8200, and that is a small portable light source. I love that light so much. I typically use it for my edge lights, but like I said, I modified this light with the cone, the 7-inch cone. And the reason why I chose a 7-inch cone is because I didn't want to use a strip box. A strip box is generally taller and it would end up lighting like a very large area consistently, but that is not what I wanted. I wanted the light to play around a little bit depending on the angle that she's serving us with. There are certain areas that may catch a bit of the rim light, certain areas may not, but I knew that because of how high up it was. Let me just paint that out for you guys to see. So if this is our light coming out, right, because of the size of the cone, it's just going to be a little bit of like a narrow beam coming out. Even though when it comes out, it's going to spread out, it's not going to be as large as my main light. And you can see this is the entire area that is supposed to be lit up, but because of the angles, like I said earlier, and she moving her angles and positions, there are certain areas that may catch some light, but generally the top of her head will always have like a very small pocket of light, and I really wanted that in there just to add variety. I didn't want it to be like the way I always add rim lights to my shot, and because of how specular I wanted it to be, I chose a small hard light for that. Now moving on to my main light. If you look at the distance between my subject and the main light, and also the size of the main light, which is this Hensel umbrella, in relation to the size of my subject, you can see that that umbrella is very huge, and already umbrella spread light everywhere. So using this, I knew that I will spread light everywhere, but then the inside of the umbrella is also silver, so it's going to add a bit of specularity. Even though it's large and spreading light everywhere, it will cancel out some of the shadows. It's still going to add a bit of pop to it, and that is what I was looking for, and that's the reason why I chose this modifier. I'm also using my Flashpoint 400 Pro because I want the main light to be a little bit more powerful than my rim light, and so I'm using a light that is twice as much as my rim light, but then again I'll compensate with the settings to give me like a very good balance. Also directly below that I have a reflector, and this is also a large reflector that spans all around up to here. You can see I'm DIY holding it, because normally I have a holder, but I didn't want to go with that because I didn't want my setup to be too much. Already I'm carrying 2 C stands, a reflector, an umbrella. That's like a bit too much, and so just to keep my setup a little bit more compact, I decided not to go with an extra stand and a holder and just have like a DIY way of, you know, just holding the reflector down. So anyway, this light is supposed to be spreading all over and lighting up my subject as well. And there's going to be a little bit of it that is bouncing off this reflector and then opening up the shadows in this area. So that is generally the little setup that I had in mind. So I wanted my main light, you know, to be a little bit specular, still very soft because it's large in comparison to the area that I'm lighting up. And you'll see that we also gave her one of these throw pillows down here to hold, just to add a bit of, you know, variety. She was wearing a white top, you'll see in the images as I add them, and we just threw in this throw pillow at the end, just to add a bit of variety. So yes, I was shooting mainly with my 24-70 at 70mm, and then I also switched out and got my 100mm macro because I wanted to get some close-ups as well. But I don't think I ended up choosing any of those, but we'll see. I'll show you the retouched images at the end. So that pretty much is the setup for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found value out of it. And you know how sometimes I'm always showing you guys 2 light setups using octa boxes, strip boxes, but this was a little bit different, a little bit simple. I know I've done a video with this before, but I just wanted you guys to see how I will carry out all these equipment onto like a location and still have the setup done for my client. Yeah, so let me know how you feel about these images. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Remember, don't ever give up.